shunner.
You know,
I think we got time for 2 more questions.
You know what my softball team's name is?
What?
It can't be 38 Studios anymore because they're gone. So starting this summer, my softball team is Clan Battlehammer.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm a Philadelphia sports fan.
Hi, Liz.
Hi.
We're alcoholics.
No one wants to kill me. It's awesome. So one thing that I feel like you guys didn't so much touch on is how both gaming and sports, it's kind of this community, whereas when you're surrounded by everybody else, it comes out a lot more. Like obviously, I'm here this weekend, so my geeky gamer side is going to be at the forefront. And I was wondering if, since the 2 communities are so similar, do you think they could sort of move toward each other, or if it's going to just keep like the walls up?
I think they're going to move toward each other.
They're already there, I think, and I think the point was made that I don't know that those walls even exist anymore, which is cool.
You know, I mean, you can be a sports dork. I mean, and going toward, you know, back kind of the name, bringing it full circle, dorks versus sport. I think you can be both of those simultaneously. You look at somebody who knows all the stats for all the games, for all the players, for whatever their favorite team is. That guy's, I mean, he's awesome, but he's a dork, right? I mean, he's in that sense of having such a passion for something. Because I think that's really what defines, I don't want to get into word definitions here, but I think that's what defines somebody who's kind of a geek or a dork or something, is just having such a passion and interest and kind of almost all-consuming desire to be involved and invested in this thing. You can be you can be a dork about sports, about video games, you know, crocheting, whatever you want to do. So yeah, I mean, it's natural. Yeah, sure, all 3. Okay, Greg, if you want. So I mean, I think it's a natural. I think it makes sense for them to come together because they're based on the same ideas. So it's gravity at that point.
Cool. Thank you.
So yeah, I don't know if this is so much of a question, but one sport that I've seen turn a lot of geeks into complete jocks is fencing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Give it up for fencing. Woo!
I feel like a lot of like 100-pound like fantasy nerds come into fencing. They'll get really into it. They'll get really competitive, and like it's kind of like a gateway for them accepting like sports as a whole. I feel like.
I think that's true. There's a guy, I think escaped as Newton Grant, is our sales VP, and yeah, he comes in the office and he's doing exercises to make sure his you know, that he can support the epi, and you know, he uses the heavier one, so he's constantly trying to keep up the muscle mass, and he's also going home and playing Skyrim with his kids. Like it's such a very you feel like it's a dorky pursuit, like, oh, I'm swinging a sword and killing someone, but no, it takes real, actual physical work, so I agree with you.
Yeah, it's a great sport, and just gonna say, I encourage everyone, if they can find a fencing club, go and try.
Nice. Pass out some cards, do fencing lessons.
I'm all the way in Delaware.
The former CEO for 38 Studios, Jim McLean, was a fencer.
Really?
And so were the guys from BHG that started BHG, Big Huge Games. Absolutely.
That's cool.
I fenced varsity Epi for 3 years.
Did you really?
Yeah. That was my post-football career. So yeah, but I will say one thing about fencing though is I watched like a ton of people join the fencing team because they were total nerds. They're like, I want to take up blades.
They watched that Princess Bride scene over and over and over again.
Oh wait, like on the fencing team, the sheer number of Princess Bride quotes
here
over the course of the weekend, it actually turned me against that movie. Like, I can't
I'll totally admit, we do get carried away sometimes.
But I will say though, is a lot of people get turned off of that because unfortunately fencing is not sword fighting, and so like a ton of people showed up and were like, "This is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna learn to fence. I'm gonna fight with swords."
That's why we give them sabers.
Yeah, and sabers at least is somewhat legit, but it turns out a lot of guys charging and swinging against mutual kill shots, which is why Epi is the best because it's the first blood.
I don't even understand half of what just was said, but I know that it's awesome. Cool. Thank you for that question. Very good. Last one.
The comment you made about toxicity in the gaming community kind of made me think there's something similar in even just sports too. I mean, if you just show up at your local gym or whatever and you just try and pick up basketball and it's been a while, you're just going to get run off the court, and it's not going to be fun. And it's the same sort of thing if you just say, oh, this game came out, I'm hearing a lot about it, let me just try and get in there. A lot of times there's the base tutorial, and then they just kind of throw you in with the wolves. It's sort of like you took a 7th grade PE class where you learned a little bit of dribble, a little bit how to shoot, and they said, all right, go and join a pickup game. So I think in both cases what it really takes to get into it in a playing point of view is really just trying to find a safe environment, where you're with your friends and so forth. I mean, when you're in school, if you just find a couple of people who are similar skill level with you, doesn't matter if it's gaming or whatever, just hopping in there, it makes a big difference. And I think that toxicity is just because the internet being the internet, it's just like a giant playroom there that really just throws you into wolves there. And I feel like there needs to be a better way to find the safer stair-stepping up from total amateur, rec league, minor league, pro, and all those things.
Sean Elliott on a podcast a couple years ago talked about how he had a really pithy turn of phrase, as wont to do. But basically, his point was that it's not okay to be okay at anything anymore. You have to be good at it. And that applies to kind of any hobby, any rewarding hobby you can mention. Like, you can't just screw around an instrument and learn to play a few songs kind of poorly. You actually have to know what you're doing, or otherwise you're just bothering everyone else with your practice. And I think it's really unfortunate. And I don't know if it's like this in every country or whether it's just kind of an American dysfunctional relationship with success. But it definitely feels at times like, with sports, with physical activity, with health, with fitness, with musicianship, there's this pressure, there's this discouraging pressure to, if you're not good at something, GTFO. And that I think is really the root of the toxicity, is that if you're not good at something, everyone feels like they have a right to throw stones.
I think that's true too. And it's odd that you brought up basketball pickup games there, because I've often had friends of mine who are like, oh my gosh, you're going to go and play with those guys? I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll probably get schooled and get run off, as you said, but I still have fun. I'm still playing, and I'm still, exercising, basically. I didn't. I got blocked like 5 times and, fell down. But and I fall down a lot. It's the only part of the game I'm actually good at is getting on the ground and getting at the ball. I have scars on my chin from whatever. The point is something taught me this early on when I was growing up and playing for the first time, was find the guy who is the best guy in your neighborhood at basketball, who was the specific example, and play against him, because that's the only way you're going to get better. Find the people who are at better skill than you, and same for just StarCraft or really anything in life.
Prison.
Same for prison. I know. From experience. Find that guy, become his friend, and play against him. So don't be discouraged by just not being at their level, because just playing with them will get you better.
That has limitations, though.
There are discrepancies, right?
I'm not going to get better in PvP and Warcraft, so my friend and I took on my 2 sons in the arena. We weren't alive long enough to figure out how to get better.
Yeah.
It was like, what did you just do? Well, that's we were just getting run over. So that has limitations.
You're right. You're right. Like playing online shooters and getting killed in the first 9 seconds.
Yeah, go play third base in softball if you don't know when hand to put the glove on.
Hey, I played third base. Come on.
It gets pretty hot down there.
It does. You gotta be able to throw across that time.
You gotta be able to catch that line drive.
Yeah, I just let it go by. The outfielder get it. I did not play baseball for long. All right, thank you guys so much for coming to sports.